Good afternoon from the Central American Space Congress. I am here with my friend Javier Mejuto. Javier, you are the Dean of Archeo-Astronomy, I have to read this, and Cultural Astronomy at UNAH in Honduras.
I'm the Dean of the Space Sciences faculty, yeah.
So, by background, you are an astrophysicist, an archaeologist, and a prehistory
Yeah.
major and PhD.
Yeah.
Yet you work in the space industry. Tell us a little bit about how you see your role in the space sector.
Yeah, well, I mean, as everybody says, there is space for everyone, right? That's a correct phrase.
Yeah.
And but to be honest, it's not like that. There is not a space for all. There are a lot of underrepresented groups in society, especially the indigenous peoples, and there are many ways of understanding the space and the celestial space. So that's my role, the understanding these other views of space. And
Tell us a little bit about that, because that's interesting, and it's something that in Europe and in North
Yeah.
America we don't always appreciate. What is the role of archaeoastronomy
Astronomy.
and indigenous views on astronomy on the space culture in general?
Yeah. I mean, every culture in the world, in the past, in the present, and in the future, will have their own view of the space in a whole concept.
Yeah.
But they introduce themselves in the way of living, in the societies. So every culture they have their own view, their own cosmovision, if you want. So of course, all are all valid. They are only different, not best or worst view of our world and of the space. So that's my job, understanding how they can link, or how they can the best of the many views to understand better our world and our world view and the future in the space as humans, right?
Interesting, yeah.
So that's the interesting point. So if we are prevailing one of the views, we are losing a lot of information, a lot of ways of solving problems as humans, and that's the interesting part. So we are all humans, we have all views, and all are valuable. So that's understanding is the first step to do
Makes
that.
sense. So, what are some of the key things that we can learn from ancient cultures, for example, here in Central America?
Well, the first one is the relationship with nature.
Okay.
That's probably the most important one, and the second one is why are we going farther or the space? What is the motivation?
Yeah.
Not everybody has, even in the same culture, we don't have the same motivation. Some of us in the Western culture, they have the one businesses,
Yeah.
other one the science, just knowledge, just getting other consciences or other people maybe in the future, other lives forms in the future. So why asking why ourselves is also very valuable. So to me is the two main things that we can learn from indigenous views, or even for ancient views of our world.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's have a look at the space economy in Central America, because that's the theme of this conference here. What is the state of the space economy in Central America according to your vision?
Okay, this is very starting space economy. For example, in Costa Rica, they have a more developed space ecosystem, but it's not very mean in the area. For example, in Honduras, in El Salvador, even in Guatemala. Guatemala, I think it could be the second most developed space economy in the area, but the other one is very starting one. We need more support from the government. We need has to be a priority in the area, and we are not that. We are not in that position already, and that this type of events and conferences has to one of the objectives is realizing of that, and putting all together because the countries in the area have the same difficulties, the same problems, the same society problems that has to be solved using this space technology.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reality right now.
Okay, now let's look at this conference, because you mentioned already a few things, but how is this conference, and this is the second edition, last year in Costa Rica was the first
Yeah.
one, now in Guatemala. What is the main contribution of conferences like these for the development of a space ecosystem here?
We have several objectives, but probably the main one is introducing the youngest people, the youngest students, the younger researchers, the younger entrepreneurs, to have an international forum that can be introduced in this world, not traveling very far or spending a lot of money. So they have the experience of international environment. And the other objective, and I think the other contribution that we want to help with is introducing the decision makers, and in this environment with researchers, with entrepreneurs, and from Central America, from Latin America, and even abroad, that can be possible. And it's a need from the region. Right?
Well, excellent to hear. I'm looking forward to the next editions of CEC, and to see the impact that it will have on the space economy. Let me ask you one more thing. We don't see a lot of government representation here. How does that work? Because often governments are a basic pillar, if you like, under a new space economy.
Yeah.
They're missing here.
Yeah. Yeah,
How does
it's
that
normal
work?
in the region. Normally they come to the first or last days of the conference, but this part of the conference is more academic or technical,
Yeah.
so they are not so interested. But they are present in some parts of the conference.
Yeah, because I find it interesting that this conference is happening largely without a lot of talks and panels from the government. This is very much student-driven, at least the academic part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that is done on purpose to showcase, perhaps, that new space in countries in Central America are largely different by student and researcher activities.
Yeah. Of course, the support of the government and the government agencies is not very big in the region. Unfortunately, that's to be said. And this conference is trying to push them to be aware of this, because to be honest, most of the people in the region, they don't believe that it's a subject for the region. I mean, we have a lot of problems, economical problems, so it's for others, right? That's the general idea in the society, and even for politicians.
Yeah.
So we are trying to change this. We are trying to make them to understand that this is part of the fixing these problems, right? And we are on that. And of course we will take time, and we are trying to develop this conference every year to develop more consciousness in every part of society.
Exactly. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the results of that.
Thank you.
In the meantime, congratulations on a very successful
No, thank you very much
conference,
for joining us in this project, and I invite you, all of you, to join us in this conference.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and goodbye from Guatemala now, and we'll see you in Central America again next year for the next edition of this conference. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye all.